Hey guys, this is Chanda from Chanda-Louise Consulting. It's another Let's Chat session. Today I have two awesome women. I have Tiff and Joanne-Inthemirror. So let's go. All right, so we'll start off. Joanne,
Hi.
tell us about yourself.
So my name is Joanne. I go by Joanne-Inthemirror on Instagram. You can follow me like that, at Joanneinthemirror. I am an adventure capitalist and I also pod. I host and produce the podcast called #InTheMirror.
Yay! Okay.
Hey guys, so I'm Tiff. I'm a high school English teacher. I'm also a worship leader and singer and a dance coach. So that's me in a nutshell.
Can I put you on the spot a little bit?
Okay, go ahead. Put me on the spot.
Give us a little one, two.
Oh, okay.
You want some of these vibes?
Yes,
Big
big dot.
All right.
When you gonna sing?
This is...
Lord, you've done so much for me, I cannot tell it all. If I had 10,000 tongues, they still won't be enough. What shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much for me. What shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much for me. Woo! Y'all did that, all right.
That was a Sunday.
You caught me.
That was dope. I lost like four.
You guys don't know, but we just finished an episode of Joanne-Inthemirror,
Woo.
which was pretty lit. It was
Yes.
dope. So let's get into it. Joanne and I actually met a couple of months ago, and it was at the New York Stationery Show where I first launched the Let's Chat series. So there, Joanne was vending, and she was just like really personable. She was just walking away, and she just had a presence about her. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's her in a
She
nutshell.
really did. And, we wound up connecting and chit-chatting, and we have been in touch since. So Joanne does this really unique thing in terms of entrepreneurship, and she's coined the phrase adventure capitalist. So girl, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to Google it. I know somebody probably used it somewhere else, but it just dropped in my spirit to call it that because I'm not a traditional venture capitalist. I don't just seed money into businesses. I seed my aesthetics, my personal abilities, my time, my efforts, and my love, and above all, the center of Christ that I bring to it. And I pour that into a business of my choosing. I select them through prayer, and I just pour them into those businesses in exchange for equity for the business. So right now, 2 out of the 3 companies that I work for offered me equity in the business. At one, I have 2% equity. At another, I have 5% equity. And it's pretty awesome. I'm growing into it. I do work for other businesses part-time, so we're looking to explore those options. And it's something that happened on its own organically. I didn't say, you better give me 2%. It was more like I saw something, it was like, hey, can I help you in any way? And then in exchange for, not even a meager paycheck, a pretty modest paycheck, they was like, you know what? I see you as a partner more than I see you as an employee. Wow. And it stemmed from there. And it's not lucrative, like crazy lucrative, but I believe it will get bigger over time. But I am blessed. My needs are met. And my daughter wears Jordans. So it's doing all right. Okay.
I'm here for it. So I have to say, this idea that Joanne coined and phrased, and essentially a lifestyle as well, to me, I found it really cool and unique and outside of my space or my comfort zone. So you guys know I come from a corporate background. And when you tend to come from that, sometimes, although Joanne does too,
I do.
You tend to have the mindset of a worker bee. And you sometimes you don't really think about building and growing. You kind of rely a little bit more so on the paycheck. I wouldn't have even thought of extending my services for equity. So I really think that that's brilliant and it's awesome, especially
leverage
for...
it, girl. Leverage your intellect. You're an asset.
I'm here for
we
it.
We all are. Leverage it. Leverage it.
Get your hand in that pot.
Yeah, get your hand in the pot.
And
it wasn't even anything I proposed. Like I said, I know that I have something to offer. My background is in marketing. And my last boss, I tell this story all the time. Like, he was an older Russian Jew, so he would change cars like we change panties. And one day while I'm in the parking lot and I'm looking at him and I'm like, okay, he's in a Lamb today. And then like a month later, I'm waiting to link up with the same person I'm with now, and I'm like, we link up at a parking lot. So I'm like, yo, look at him, he's in a different kind of car. Yeah, he's rich, and I'm like. Like, so my worker bee mentality, my aesthetics, my gifts, and my talents that God gave me is making this man rich. Like, his wife is coming in the Chanel that I see on TV, and I was like, oh, this is like. And then the wheels started turning in my head, and like that one opportunity presented itself, and another, and another, and another, and I'm open to more. You know, I do 10 years, so I'm not gonna stay at one job too long. So don't hire me and think I'm staying with you forever. You know, every person that I know knows that my time is gonna be up eventually. You know, but I do 6 month stints. Right now I'm in the middle of a year stint. So, you know, like, we'll see if we organize those terms. For right now, I'm working for a year there, and I build it up to the desired growth of the owner, and we depart amicably with my equity intact.
Okay.
Yes.
So Tiff, now tell us, so Tiff I just met today in true fashion.
So beautiful.
And she's gorgeous. So she gave us that beautiful rendition. She is just a very natural talent. On top of that, she's also a teacher. So, but not just a teacher, she's elevated too. So tell us about your story, your testimony, what's your background, girl?
So basically, so for those of you who do not know, there's a program called New York City Teaching Fellows.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I am a former fellow from cohort like 27 or something of the sort.
Shout them out.
Shout out to my teaching fellows. So basically I went through this long process of, not really long, but I went through this really tedious process of becoming a teacher. And so I've been at this school, this year makes it 4 years. Of my 3 years of being there, every year has been like, not a struggle, but it has definitely been a challenge for me. But particularly my last year, my third year, it was just like one of those years that almost broke me. And it was such a challenge because I was being pressured not just by my daily tasks, but then I had, I was finishing up my master's actually last year. So that was something that I was dealing with, finishing my master's, completing any teaching certifications necessary, and then also dealing with those day-to-day stresses inside of my environment. And the environment I was in wasn't the best. Like, it was so toxic to the point where I would wake up in the morning and I'm like, I go back. I have to go back. You know, I would, like, on my way walking in, my heart is pumping and I'm already feeling like I need to turn around. And it was to the point where I just wanted to leave. I couldn't deal with it. I was so afraid of whether or not I was going to be able to execute in that place and please the people that were there. I was afraid of whether or not I had enough time to do the tasks that I needed to do. And, like, people see teaching and they think, oh, all we do is get up there and we stand and we talk to our students. But no, there is so much prepping that happens, and not just with grading. Like, grading is only half of it.
Oh, gosh.
You know, it's the planning, it's the superintendent visits, it's your bosses and their visits. I was in a place where I was being visited almost every single day. Really? Maybe 3 times.
Why?
A day. It was, and you know, like,
that's intense.
It was intense, and it was intense for me because I was like a model teacher, but I wasn't like given the title. Right? So you know, when you're be aware of this, when everyone loves what you do and everyone loves who you are and they recognize you, but they won't acknowledge you, or they won't give you what you deserve.
They won't promote you.
Exactly. Or they'll try
the role that you're actually
or they'll limit you in little small ways so that you're not really ever moving up. You just think you are. And so I couldn't do it. I would call home in the middle of the day crying, Mom, I'm quitting. Just take me out of this place. But again, thank God for our praying moms. Thank God for the word of God. I feel like I was built up so much in that year. God moved me to the place where he said, you have to stop leaning on your own control and your own talents, your own abilities, and start to recognize that you only got here because of me, and you're only going to get out of here with me. So I had to eliminate a lot of Tiff being in control, because Tiff loves to control.
I do too.
Tiff loves to control. She loves to plan out her day with her planner, her phone, with everything, a to-do list. And so I wasn't in control, and that was just driving me up a wall. And it drove me not only up a wall, but to God. And so through just prayer, through seeking, through building that relationship and understanding, I can't get through this and overcome this fear unless I believe in what you can do. And I started to believe a little more and apply my faith Come on, y'all. Apply that
Amen.
faith. Apply that faith.
Amen.
I started to apply that faith, and a year later, God turned it around for me.
Yes.
Okay, so what did he do?
So he basically moved me from teaching 11th grade to 12th grade English and also AP, which is like a college level. And I always said before I started teaching that I don't want to deal with the younger groups. I want 12th grade. I started off, God was good. He started me off in 11th grade, but I was like, I want 12th grade. And I got 12th grade. So I got 12th grade. I'm also now the lead teacher without the official credentials for this position.
Wow.
So I oversee.
Sounds like favor to me.
It is
That
favor.
is favor.
Amen. So I oversee the English department in my school, and I also oversee like the humanities department. So I assist in the cultivating of our humanities department.
Wow.
I run the National Honor Society in my school now, which is amazing. Working even more closely with my students. I have an office. Could you believe that?
Yes.
I have an office.
That's an office.
I have an office, y'all. And
Come on, office.
perk. It's right next to my classroom.
Oh.
So
You don't gotta eat lunch with nobody.
I have to eat it for everybody. It's so good.
All right, so essentially you were in a space for maybe 4 years or so where you weren't happy. There were a lot of things happening. You were being pulled. You were finishing school. You had administrative, in a sense, kind of audits or visits.
Yeah, I'm visiting.
And then the thing that shifted was your faith in God.
Yes. That's all it took. It took realizing that everything I needed was right in front of me. I didn't have to look anywhere else. Like literally what I needed was to believe in me a little bit more and to believe in the God that I serve.
Tap into that favor.
Wow. Okay.
You just have to believe a little bit more.
Tap
And
into that
it's
favor.
one thing to say it, because that was the struggle for me. Saying it and actually executing it. Like, how do you do that? Like, I would come to church and my spiritual mom would literally say exactly what I needed to get through the week, but it still wouldn't feel like it was enough. It was like, I get it, but God, like, how? I mean, I was writing affirmations everywhere.
Wow.
On my mirror and my planner. I bought a planner that has affirmations for every single day because I needed to feed myself.
Right.
You know, I needed to feed it, but it still wasn't enough.
Wow.
And you know why it wasn't enough? Because I literally wasn't letting go.
Control.
I wasn't letting go. I was saying that I was like believing, but there were still so many parts of me that was saying, I have to control how it's done though. So I would say, oh, I don't have enough time to do this, but that's right, because time doesn't belong to you.
Wow.
You know, like time doesn't belong to you. Like what is in your hand legitimately does not belong to you. And the sooner you release it, the sooner God can start to move and do what he needs to do.
And shift it.
Shift it. So that happened.
That's amazing, Tiff. Wow. Okay.
Sorry, y'all. I just don't.
Where do you go from there? Okay. So then, so a lot of our subscribers, our audience, are entrepreneurs, particularly women, although we're not just opposed or we're not selecting only women. Everyone is invited. And we just want to know, for someone that is young in their career, because one thing Tiff did not mention is she's the youngest in her school.
Yeah,
actually.
we have 3 schools in
In
my
her
building.
role, she's the youngest there too.
In the
So
entire
that's
building.
that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
So for young ladies who are going the entrepreneurial route, or who are just not happy where they are, what advice would you have for them?
Yes, give me yours, Tiff.
Tiff and then Joanne.
All right, okay, I'll close out.
Yes,
Go ahead.
ma'am.
I think, wow, it's honestly, do not let your youth be your blockage or discourage you.
Yeah.
Don't use it as an excuse. Don't say, oh, people do not respect me because I'm young. Listen, you're going to go in so many
Or your
places.
age period.
Or your age,
goals.
or because you're a woman, or because you're a male in a female environment. Do not let those identities keep you from being your best self and doing what God has called you to do in that place. Because if you do, you'll always have an excuse for why you're not getting what you want. And it's not. People will always despise your youth, and it's not because you're pretty. It's not because you're young. It's because there is a light in you. There's a light in you. You know what? And I say this every morning. You're loved, you're beautiful, and you are a light. Every morning I say that.
Affirm yourself.
Take your light and just rock with it. It doesn't matter.
Right, Joanne?
Got it. Well, my advice for entrepreneurs is that the plan is that there is no plan. Just tap into your natural God-given gifts, things that come natural to you, things that are innate to you. Do them with vigor, do them with a passion, and don't diminish your light. Don't hold back, because you are exactly who you need to be to get you where you are going. And if I can give you any advice, I would say take advice from your future self.
Ooh. Okay, I love it.
Yes.
All right, so to wrap it up, Joanne, then we have your Instagram, and then Tiff also yours.
Okay, I'm on Instagram at Joanneinthemirror. That's all conjunctified. So at Joanneinthemirror.
And I'm Tiff again, and my Instagram is authentically_made_. So authentically_made_, and that's MADE, not MAID.
Gotcha.